Gotcha.
All right. Special guest here. Hotter Than Hell podcast meets the Rock 107 podcast here. And we got a special guest who has a special event happening this weekend in Philadelphia. We got Mike from Triumph with us. Mike, how you doing?
Great, Mark. How are you?
Well, I'm doing good. So watching the trailer for this film, and it got me super stoked so much last night that I spent a majority of my life going through the Triumph catalog at my house. My wife's like, what time are you going to bed? I'm like, I got a couple more albums to listen to and I'll be up.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have this documentary coming out, Triumph Rock and Roll Machine. It's premiering in Philadelphia International Film Festival on Saturday, just a couple days away. Now, are you making the trek to Philadelphia to see the premiere?
No, won't be anybody from the band there. Actually, the first night, I guess the Saturday nights at the drive-in that the film festival uses.
Mm-hmm.
And Monday it plays at the Bourse Theater, the Ritz Bourse. I believe that's the case.
That's great. Yeah, Mike, the trailer, I was going through that, and just watching that brings back so many memories of watching the Triumph videos on VHS. I got my first one, and then I picked up the one from Sport of Kings tour on DVD, and I actually got to see that tour in Binghamton with you guys, and Yngwie opened up for you guys. And
okay.
I'll tell you what, I've seen hundreds of concerts since then, and that is still in my top 3 concerts of all time. Just absolutely fantastic show.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear. We strive for perfection. We never achieved it, but we got close a few times.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you guys have hit it, and I've been a Triumph fan since probably '82, I think, and I think Never Surrender came out, and then I of course went back and got the back catalog, and you guys have been a staple in my playlists just for forever and ever, and and what I like about you guys are your music was always so positive. I mean, and I listen to a lot of dark stuff like Black Sabbath and some of the heavier stuff that's out now, but you guys are always a refreshing comeback to just for some great positive music. And just kind of tell me how you kept up that positivity over the years. It's been fantastic.
I think it's it's sort of addressed in the documentary a bit. We were the good guys in white. We kind of kept our positivity because that's who we were more than anything. It's I hate to say that maybe we had a formula, but we did kind of have a formula, from whether it's recording wise or stage wise. The formula was there. We had a big show. The show was the key. It's like if you're going to be there, then you're going to get lasers and pyro and effective effects that will enhance the music rather than just for the sake of being an effect. So we went for that seriously, and then recording wise, it's just that's what we were. We're positive guys, so it's hard to be I'm going to kill your mother and your whole family type band when you don't really think that way.
Go ahead, Mark.
So Mike, let me ask, how did this documentary come together? Like, did somebody get a hold of the band and pitch it to you guys, or was it the band saying, hey, let's get this done, and then you guys pitching it to a director or producer?
It's funny. That's like, I think the whole project started maybe 5 years ago. And, I thought the record industry was a mess to work in and deal with, but the film industry is a whole other can of worms. But Don Allen, who's Revolver Films, came to us, and he had directed some of our videos, actually most of our videos. He said, you know what, you guys, we should do a documentary. I think the time's right. We said, sure, Don, go ahead. You figure it all out. You find the financing. You just go what you need to do what you need to do. And that dragged on for a couple of years. Then Don said, you know what, I can't do this by myself. I don't have the staff. I don't have the right people. Let me go to Banger Films, who are professionals at really doing these rock docs. They did Iron Maiden and Alice Cooper and ZZ Top. So they were, Don went to Banger. Then Banger said, yeah, we'd love to get involved. And so we had a meeting. And then Banger kind of took over the project. And those guys are incredibly professional and incredibly talented at what they do. And So that took, then of course we had the 2-year COVID interruption, that everything took a lot longer than it should have because they had to close down their offices and where their editing suites were and everything. So everybody's working from home. And stuff where you could just get an approval on something in 10 seconds, you had to upload for 2 hours, and then somebody had to download it, and then they had to talk about changes and go through all that. So it was a lot more work intensive for them than they really wanted it to be. But they ended up, the finished product, you guys are gonna, honestly, like, we all went nuts when we saw it, the band. We went, wow.
I can imagine the last documentary, the Anvil documentary of the last Canadian documentary band I saw was absolutely fantastic. So I'm really looking forward to this one. And one of the other thing is, and I think there's such a buzz around this, is because you guys were such a staple on radio and live in concert in the 80s, and then poof, it just pre-internet, it's like I just remember one day sitting around with friends and like, man, we haven't had anything from Triumph in a couple of years, and you guys kind of like just folded up and walked away.
Yeah, that's kind of how it went. It was, things were on their, I wouldn't say last legs, but we weren't as positive as we had been for all those years. And, a life of a band is, usually, 5, 6, 7 years, unless you're the Rolling Stones. And, we were 12, 13, 14 years. And, things change, people's lives change, attitudes change. Rick was the first guy that made a move, but it could have been Gil or it could have been me, so, that was the bad news. The good news is we're all buddies and everything. It's all like water under the bridge, and we all sleep at night and go, when our brotherhood is back being intact.
Mhm.
It's hard, to live and be on the road with someone and make music and be successful, and for some with guys that you loved and still love, but not be able to talk. That kind of thing is be a horrible way to exit, so to speak.
Yeah, Mike, when you guys now, did this film actually, was that the catalyst for you guys to get back together? Because I know you guys played Sweden Rocks and you guys played at Rocklahoma as well. Was the idea of this film what you got you guys back in the same room together to play music?
Well, to play music, but we'd always, we were, since all the Rocklahoma show and the Sweden show, we were, on tour, but just touring restaurants. We'd have dinner every quarter, just sit around and laugh and tell war stories. But it was Banger's idea to do this whole fan event thing at Metalworks at the studio, and we were kind of don't know, and they said, hey, we'll put it all together, and they built a museum there, and they did all this stuff. It was like unreal what they created, and they invited, figured out how to get 150 super fans there, and we dressed up one of the warehouses, or 2 of the warehouses, I guess, but nobody knew we were going to play. That was really the good part. Kept that a secret because we weren't. And then one day we're together talking about it, and they said, maybe we should play. So we got together and rehearsed, and then we went, maybe we shouldn't play. So it didn't go very well initially. Excuse me. But we just decided, let's put those to the grindstone and work it out. So we, I don't know, maybe rehearsed 30 times, kind of, to be able to play 3 songs. And we got good, so we felt comfortable being able to play, and a surprise for the fans. I mean, when you see it in the documentary, that doesn't really do justice to what was there like being there in person, but it's pretty cool.
Now, Mike, the premiere is happening this weekend in Philadelphia. So what's the next step after that? Are we getting an international release? Or is it going to DVD? Is it going to pay-per-view or any kind of streaming service? What's plan B after the premiere?
All of the above.
Okay.
Kind of. We got caught by surprise, really, because the film was just finished, and then the Toronto International Film Festival called and said, we've heard about the documentary. You guys going to submit it for approval, so we can, put it in TIFF, which is probably the biggest film festival in the world. And We said, sure, why not, for sure. And they loved it and accepted it and gave us a quote unquote special event status. So I played there the first week of October, I guess, something like that. Or no, September. And so there's, there's ages for the film. They're dealing with the theatrical end and the streaming end. Like in Canada, Crave and Bell Media have it for broadcast and for pay-per-view or streaming, I should say. And in America, they're talking to Showtime and talking to Netflix and talking to Paramount Plus and all the streamers, Amazon. Internationally, I don't know. I'm out of that loop, but we expect that there will be a DVD for sure, probably late summer of next year. That will definitely be. I know it's going to be made for sure, 100%. Which is cool. And pending what happens with the streamers, it could be a pay-per-view event. There might be some theatrical too coming up, like not everywhere, but a few key markets. Around North America. So from a futures point of view, yeah, there's plans. Nothing's been solidified because we got caught short. We didn't have a plan from a marketing point of view until the film festival thing came along.
Yeah.
And probably we play Sundance.
I see a couple, Facebook groups and stuff. I see people are flying into Philadelphia this weekend to check it out, which is awesome.
Oh yeah? Oh cool. That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. It kills me. So yeah, we're hoping Philly. That was a great market for us. So all of Pennsylvania was great for us. So we're looking forward to having some success there, so to speak, at the film festival, because that really helps. For the agents to make the right deals. It's kind of like, well, if you don't sell out the Spectrum and you don't sell out the Tower Theater, then you're nothing in Philadelphia, kind of, right? So. If we don't put bums in seats for the stock in Philly, then it's not successful, kind of. Except it's not being promoted. Film festivals are notoriously bad at promoting anything. They just go, oh, well, we got subscribers, so they can go see whatever movie they want. And that's kind of how they do it. So we kind of went, no, that's not the way we work. The way we work is you let the word out to fans. Let them know.
Mike, do you guys have any plans of releasing anything like a soundtrack for this film, or any kind of back catalog stuff? All the bands now, they're putting out demos and live shows and stuff like that. Do you guys have any kind of plans for the Triumph catalog for anything coming up?
Well, interestingly enough, there's a tribute album being done in Los Angeles that Mike Link from Guns N' Roses and Whitesnake and whatever, Mike's producing it and putting it together.
That's awesome.
So there's guest musicians. Like, it's got nothing to do with the original versions of the songs with a new vocal on it. It was recorded from scratch, a complete different interpretation or the same. I think he's got three tracks left to do, something like that, last time we talked. So that'll be coming out first part of the year, hopefully. There is, what else? Well, the Allied Forces box set that came out for Record Store Day. There was, a double vinyl of Live in Cleveland from the Allied Forces tour. And,
I was unable to get that.
Yeah, there's, I think the website, our merch store, has got 200 or so or less of the, what the heck has he got? No, he's going to have box sets, because we were not, because of the Record Store Day bull. Kind of, it really pissed us off, but we weren't able to sell direct, off our website. Oh. We were kind of, because they were afraid, it was an expensive piece of product. They were afraid their stores might get usurped by Triumph fans just ordering. So they're going to be there'll be box sets up for sale on our website. Not a lot of them, but we did have some product as part of our deal. So I know there might be another 75 or 80 that we're going to sell at a nice price.
Oh, great. Yeah, because Record Store Day, our local record shop, they got one. And my buddy got it, and I'm like, well, at least someone I know got it, and they can enjoy it. And it seems like every Record Store Day that I'm working, and I was glad that at least one of my buddies could get it. So I would be very, very happy if I would have an opportunity to be able to pick that up, because that's, that's like would be my crown jewel for Triumph.
Yeah, it's a beautiful set. It's really nice. It's
Yeah,
for
it is.
everything's first class. And it was, spared no expense in doing it right.
Are there plans for any other box sets for any other albums?
Well, it's one of those things. There's, somebody wants to do colored vinyl first, and then, work their way through the catalog. In my best wet dreams, I sure would love to do a box set for every album. I would love that. But I think we'd run out of good things. It's just would be hard to, for one album, they were able to find, so much archival stuff to be able to reproduce and put in the box. It worked. For another one, it's probably going to be, a little more difficult to match the quality, but it'll be obviously not as big and chock full of stuff, but still be cool. So yeah, we're talking about that as a possibility for next Christmas as well.
Now, if it was up to you, which album would you pick to do next?
Well, that's a really good question. I've never been asked that one, but I don't know. What would be a fun one to do? I always thought, you should always start at the beginning and work your way through. But, it seems to be the way of marketing these days. You tie it into an anniversary, right? So it's 40 years or 45 years or 35 years. Pretty soon they'll just get rid of all that and go, oh, it's 33 and a half years. It's an anniversary, just to get stuff out on the street. But yeah, like Never Surrender is going to be 40, and not next year, but the year after, for example, right? So, and the question is, you don't want to overload the market and just keep putting out product after product after product after product. I don't think that's kind of fair, and it's also tough to put those things together. It takes a lot of time. It took like 6 months to put the Allied Forces box together until it was ready. All the pieces were there and ready to get manufactured and put in the box. So it's a lot of work as well.
Well, Mike, Triumph Rock and Roll Machine premieres Philadelphia this weekend, 9:30 p.m. on the drive-in. Good luck with this film, and I can't wait to see it personally myself. I'm really looking forward to it.
Well, I think you're going to love it.
Absolutely. If I'm sure the trailer does it no justice at all. The first time I saw that trailer, I was like, oh my God, when's it coming out? Checking dates and everything. So at least we're going to get to see it soon. Because, I've been a Triumph fan for a long time. And I remember hearing that Banger Films was doing it, and
Right.
They do a fantastic job on everything. And I'm just so happy that, you guys are going to be getting your props through this film.
Yeah, well, I think it was time, and it tells, to us as a band, it's a little more than a quote unquote documentary. It is more like a film, because there's a storyline to it. It's not just here's a bunch of people talking about Triumph. It's like there's a story about the band, story about the fans. There's makes you laugh, makes you cry, makes you want to punch someone in the face, whatever, but it'll tug at you emotionally too, which is cool.
Well, Mike, very good. I appreciate you joining us today, and I'll see you on the big screen soon.
You got it. Thanks for having me. You guys take care.
Thanks, Mike. You too. Appreciate it.
Okay.
All right.
Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.